unedited. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. All right, people, y'all know what time it is. We're back on. We're back on. We're back on. Ready, 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 ready. Ready. We're back on. This is live, uncut. All right, come on in, people. Come on in. You're back. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. That's it. Well, that's what I'm talking about. That's right. We in. We in. We in. We went. We in. We in. Still not letting my settings right, boy. That's crazy, boy. Still not letting my settings come on. Isn't that crazy? I guarantee you, if I go on live on my regular page without the software, it is booming. Mm-hmm. Come on in, people. We back. We back. We just got to roll what it is. It is what it is. No complaining on my part. Just have to roll. Just have to roll. Just have to roll with it. Just have to roll. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. I tell you, folks, they don't want this truth to get out. They're doing everything in their power, not to let this truth get out. In their power. And I'm going to show you something. I'm going to prove something to you guys. I'm going to prove something to you. I'm going to share a screen with you guys. I'm going to share a screen with you. And I want y'all to see something. Now, look on here. These are the notifications. Martin G. Johnson was live. Plantation Sports. Crime Chaser, the Crime Chaser. To help you see notifications that are most important to you, you'll just get highlights from Martin G. Johnson. Would you like to keep all notifications? Y'all see that, people? This is what they do. This is exactly what they do. I'm just showing you. These are the tricks that they play. Now, if this person is my friend and they follow me, they're supposed to get my notifications. And look at this. Look at this. Asking him to help you see notifications that are most important to you. You'll just get highlighted from Martin Johnson. Would you like to keep all notifications? My goodness, y'all see that? This is plantation politics. Ain't that crazy? That is crazy. But I just wanted to show you guys that. I'm done talking about that stuff. Yeah, that's terrible. White supremacists. And I mean, if you're my friend, if you follow me, why wouldn't you want to get my notifications? That's what I don't understand. That's what I don't understand. That is crazy. Let's get this show on the road. Yes, we know Facebook is racist. Alexis, I see you. Peace to you. We know that. They don't want this truth to get out. They didn't want to get it. If we was on here shaking booties and talking about going to bed with somebody, smoking some blunts and weed, turning up, all that is permitted. But the truth is not permitted. Congratulations to the Houston Astros are the World Series champions for the second time in 6 seasons. Congratulations to the Houston Astros. Just came across my news feed. Somebody said, I love getting your notification. You don't ever know what you might see. And I'm telling you, that's messed up. I can log out of here and go just straight to my page without the software, and so many people come on in. They'd even if they don't stay there, just check in. Just check in. Let the truth be told. That's right, Angela Best. They would be notified. Now, if they come in, that's on them. But get the notifications. But I want to be thankful for my YouTube audience. They're on here. Appreciate you, YouTube. Appreciate you. All right, people, let me take a call. 872-297-6389. You see the number above my head, and also you see it below me on the screen. 872-297-6389. Dusty Baker gets his first ring. Yeah, we got rid of him, didn't we? All right, people, 872-297-6389. Won't you come on in so we can talk? It's 10:44 Chicago time, Central Time, and we can have a little talk. Oh, yeah, they tripping. You know they're tripping. You know they're tripping. We all know they're tripping on this Facebook. They got to keep a powerful brother down. They got to try. All right, I need a caller. The floor is open. Share the video. Would be appreciated. Share it in your groups. Doesn't matter. I appreciate you. We got those that's looking in, but they're not in. All right. All right, caller. Where you calling from?
Chicago, Illinois, City Second Alice, Ingleside, Greenwood, Woodlawn, 20th Ward.
That ain't you, man. Man, don't get on here talking that GD stuff, man. We talking about.
No, that's the Woodlawn area, baby.
Okay, don't don't do that, man. Come on, all right, go ahead.
Mark, that's how I get you started. Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
So I've been putting my story on Facebook, man. So I'm struggling because I go to the casino. I'm struggling with money because of that. So I'm like a crackhead. I got a gambling habit. Now it's a convenience store in my neighborhood where I just moved in, and I'm already thinking the government is chasing me down because of my thoughts, right?
Okay.
So now I go in this store, I get 2 link cards. All of a sudden, right? I ain't had a link card in a long time, man. So I just get my link card, you know what I'm saying? And I get 2 link cards. So I'm like, fuck it, these are Federation, I'm gonna spit in their fucking face. They thought they sent me the damn link card. Now, but I didn't know this was happening. So I went to the store and used my card at the same number. I used the card and I used it, and I ended up using another one. The one receipt was off. I noticed it though.
Okay.
But I've been spiritually touched. So I'm like, man, this same store, we around here killing each other. This same store, boom, they making all this fucking money, man. I could just, man.
Hey, do me a favor, man. Watch your language, man, because I'm recording. I want to be able to put this up, with all that cussing. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No
problem.
I'm just a school guy. I mean, I'm a neighborhood guy. And
bro, where you think I'm from? I'm from the neighborhood too.
Hey, look, I love being black.
I love being black. Yeah.
Hey, man, you pay attention to me, man. I say a lot of your quotes, man. I respect everybody from Woodlawn area. Most importantly, I respect everybody. But we had the same teachers, man, some way. If you ain't got the same teacher, man, your teachers we all got the same teachers some way. People that use them in different ways, man. I'm touched by whoever blessed the Woodlawn area with the bull and the good. One thing about me, I could just do it all. It just had manners on you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I'm blessed with the Woodlawn community, man. All my life, besides when I moved to Iowa for 3 years and actually gave me the part that I was missing in Chicago. The pimping and playing. Only pimp from Chicago is in Don Juan. He never coming outside of town. So nobody really be a pimp. But I went to Iowa and I understood all that stuff in biz, the big business, because everybody like the hikes come with $500 every day. I'm like, why? How can he a regular hike? How can he come with $500 every day? Is he the police? Man, these people was hustling, man. They was corporate thugging, man. But that's the stuff I was missing. So, and I went to school, so I've been, like I said, I've been to school all this time. But anyway, but today, not today, but this happened a while ago. But anyway, I get these extra food stamps, and the store owner recognized how excited I was about it. Like, damn, you mother that mistakenly gave me $350 on two cards. And it's crazy because I don't use food stamps. Like, you know what I'm saying? I eat small, and I'm just buying something not to eat. You know what I'm saying? A
Mm-hmm.
little meal. So on top of that, and these motherfuckers watching me now, so they might see this shit anyway. But I don't even care because it's
Brother,
all
brother, the
supervised with the
language.
government.
Watch the
I'm
language,
sorry.
brother.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But look, the card that was the extra card, I bought some that day, and then it was disappeared. The money was gone. I didn't sweat it, but I just went in that store. Lately, like everybody thinking I'm crazy because I'm just really just saying the right thing. And then I purposely I don't dress fancy because the stuff I be saying that get me hurt or a snake. You know what I'm saying? And I know that that's just me being smart and ahead of the game and all that stuff, man. Because the stuff I'm saying is really true. People just ain't caught on with it. They might catch it later, and it might be too late. Like I don't even supposed to be telling my story, and just while I'm telling my story is making me. I'm cracking so many
Brother,
codes,
can
man.
you get to the point, man? You come get
Man,
to
the
the point.
motherfucker. What I'm saying, what I think these motherfuckers stole my link card, man.
Bro,
And
listen,
if they
I did
need
not,
me,
brother.
if they listen,
Hold on, brother.
yeah,
Hold on. Now. We do this every time, man. Every time,
sorry,
brother.
I'm
Brother,
sorry, man.
listen.
I'm irate, man.
Listen,
Real
brother.
bad, but
Listen.
yeah.
Listen.
Actually, I'm
Just
trying to put you on this game. I'm trying to put you in this, man. I really ain't got to call you. You ain't
uh,
really shit me up.
uh,
I'm trying. You're an activist, man. I'm trying to help you to help
brother,
me.
brother,
Shit.
you listen. You can't help me out
Okay.
by just not just trying to, come a calling
I mean,
in.
you gotta look. God say, "Come as you are, man." If
Hey,
I tell
brother,
you
I'm
your
not
name, make your
God.
shit
I'm not
rain,
listen, I'm not
man.
God. I'm not a
But you
preacher.
believe in somebody. You believe in somebody, right?
I'm not a
That's why they say,
preacher.
"Come." Who do you believe in, though? That's the rules, man. You ain't gotta break.
All right, people. I'm thinking next. Every time this brother get on here, every time. I don't know what's wrong with the brother. I try to be patient. I hope he don't call back because I'm not taking this call. Brother, don't call back, brother. Please don't call back. Please don't. Let's get to the topic, people. We talking about plantation sports. Do you guys believe that sports is a type of slavery? To me, I believe that. Trust me. It's all controlled. I call them rich slaves. Rich slaves. The number 872-297-6389. We're going to talk. What's really going on? That's right. I'm on the menu now. Sports plantation. That's what we want to talk about, some sports. How many athletes we got out there? And think about it. I heard Jalen Rose say that when it comes to black sports, there's all types of rules and stipulations. But when it comes to sports like tennis, volleyball, golf, NASCAR racing, you can go to that sport straight out of high school with no problem. You got to go through all type of stipulations to go and play professional basketball and football. But I think what we fought at as everyday people, we fall in love with our athletes and entertainers. They are not our leaders at all. At all. That's right. Today is a different plantation on all levels. We look up to these people. We look up to them. And we should in a way, but they are millionaires and we shouldn't hate on them. We should support them. $350 and I didn't spend it. It took it out. Okay, all right, brother. All right, I understand. But we got to get back to what we own. Yes, sports is the new slavery. It's the same way. Who's seen that picture called Roots, that movie called Roots? How they had the slaves lined up and how the slave owners, the ones that wanted to auction, wanted to bid on them through an auction, they look them up and down, look at the health. They have a little history on each one of them. They brand them so they'll know where they come from and look at them, open their mouth up, look at the ears, have them strip butt naked, and they look them up and down. And that's what they do. That's what they do. Who wants to come on here and talk? This is live, uncut, unedited. 872-297-6389. Roots, it tells the story, people. It really tells the story. All our black men, celebrity men, when are you guys going to stand up? When are you going to stand up? What, you afraid of going back to the po house? What is it? What is it? You're afraid to go back into the po house. All right, here we go. All right, caller, where are you calling from?
Shalom, Martin.
Shalom, how you doing?
I'm coming along in yourself.
Okay.
I'm calling from Chicago. This is Lola.
Mm-hmm. You calling from where?
Chicago.
Okay, yeah, you was on the other day. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, I do believe that this is representation of modern day slavery.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. It's unfortunate because their contracts are heavily clad, and the owners or other personnel in the company gets to own their image, the image of the players, the basketball players, football players, etc. They get to own their image, and they have certain type of clauses and what have you in there that restricts them from doing so much outside of their job or outside of the sports arena.
Right. Can I ask you a question? I know I think I know the answer. And it says, have you ever laid eyes on a professional athlete, sports athlete contract?
No, I haven't.
Me either.
Not a complete contract.
Okay.
However, I'm sure those things are entailed in there. For example,
okay. Let me before you get started. Hold on.
To compete with other people. Or
hold on, sister. You said not complete. What do you mean by you? What do you mean by that? I need to know.
Well, let me. I'm going to backtrack.
Okay, backtrack because I want to be clear now. I don't want to be confused with what you're trying to say.
I've not looked at anybody's contract, but I do know something about contracts and contract laws a little bit.
Okay. Now that's much better. That's much better because even myself, I talk about it. I heard some things about it. I've never seen a professional basketball or football player contract. Never seen one. I would love to get my hands on one and even just blot out the person name and don't have to mention who the person is and just read over it and see what it really says. What is this hold that they got on these black professional athletes while they're afraid to speak out?
There will be probably an what is it called? An NDA where they can't tell outside people the details, the significant details.
But what about the ones that's not in NBA anymore that play professional sports? Maybe a couple of years, or 2 years, 3 years, they went to China or they retired. I wonder if they can show their contract.
They may be able to, as you said, in a redacted form. However, I believe that there may be some portions of that contract in perpetuity as to where they cannot disclose specific.
Okay, now let us play the guessing game because we don't know factual because you haven't witnessed You never read a professional contract. I haven't never read one. What do you think in your own words? It's just in your own opinion. This is safeguard now that's in that contract.
That the industry owns their image, their likeness, that they are restricted from making certain other deals outside of that organization, that they cannot, for example, play in certain benefits or certain other games. For example, if they were doing a charity or something like that, they can't just do anything on their own without the express written permission of the organization with whom they're contracted to. So that's basically from a legal standpoint. I believe those things are entailed and more.
Okay, we just asking. So nothing that we're saying right now could be factual. It might be factual. I'm just want to ask, and I'm not trying to make you look bad or anything, because we this is live, uncut, unedited, and once you say it, it's out there, can't take it back. I think what you're saying is correct. Personally, I mean, just my opinion, and. Let me ask you a question, and it's not a trap question or a trick question. If I'm your employer, do you have the right to say anything publicly against my company?
I have the right,
or my race.
Yes, I have the right to speak. However, let's just say you don't bite the hand and feed you. However, it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
Okay, now that sounds good. But where does the freedom of speech comes in?
Well, if you're under contract, you really don't have one.
Okay.
Because they control the narrative as to how they control your behavior in a sense. They control your basically your thoughts. It's like your puppet on a string, unfortunately.
Somebody said that Michael Jordan had in his contract, when he was playing, he could play ball outside of the Chicago Bulls. I believe that was true. Because Michael Jordan did show up at different places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But I'm just saying,
you
would still have to get a certain permissions, and you can't just go do things and also, for example, you can't just compete with other people like that.
So
yeah, that's competition. Yeah, that's just like you work for Wendy's and you telling Wendy's manager, hey, yeah, I ain't gonna be here Friday. I'm going over to McDonald's, and we're gonna do something together. You can't do that.
Well, let me ask you. So, see what I'm trying to get here. We're still on Plantation Sports.
Go ahead.
Is it like, and I'm just assuming, professional athletes that play for the basketball team, National Football League, and basketball team, especially if they're black, do they have like what you call a gag order? You would say certain things that they can't say.
Yes, I agree. That's why they have those several stipulations in their contract.
Okay.
Yeah, they do have gag orders, and they can't really tell us. They can't really say how they really feel about certain things.
Okay. But okay, now since you said that, and I agree with that, why we get mad at these athletes when they don't speak up, when they don't give back to the communities where they came from? Why we get mad as a race of people? Why we get mad at them? And I'm guilty of this too.
I don't really get angry, but in a sense, I understand what you're saying, because they can donate and make a charity and donate to the community and help other people in the areas of their weaknesses and strengthen them. because they have the material means. Excuse me. And so then it appears as though they have forgotten from whence they come.
I mean, these are the things that's running through my mind because professional athletes, we look up to them like they're heroes. I don't know. It's okay. Let me just say this, and I'm just trying to say it the best way as possible. Most of us that was born in poverty, all right, some of us still in poverty, we feel if we become a millionaire, we made it in this country. All our problems and all our worries are over with. But that's not the case.
You get more problems. You get more problems, and that's true. It's not the case. You get more problems once you get in a certain tax bracket, a certain class of income. You get more problems because you have to deal with. There'll be people that try to delete you. There'll be people that are just hateful and they will malign you. And you could be one of the best people in the world, but they're still malign you because they can. So you have to watch out for that. You'd have to watch out for the taxes and things like that because, Big Brother IRS, would be on you to make sure that you fill out those forms correctly, and they want to watch everything you do with your dollars all the way down to the penny.
Well, let me just say this. Those of us that's out there hoping, wishing that these athletes will speak up for us. Yes, they know the struggle, but it's like, do they take a risk of losing millions, or do they just be quiet, be silent, and go along with the program, get along to get along, go along to get along?
Well, yes, in some cases they do more than others. They do take a risk to speak up and speak out because then it will appear as though they're speaking out against the industry, if they're speaking truthfully, then that's what it is. It's not, and sometimes they do get along and get along. I saw that. I mean, for example, who is that? I think it was Joaquin Noah or something.
Who?
Years ago, Joaquin Noah.
Okay.
And he had an organization here where he was helping people out. And it just appeared to me, I'm not an expert.
Hold it, sister. Hold it. I got another caller. Hold it. This is getting interesting. Hey, caller, where you calling from? Caller. It's getting interesting. Caller, where you calling from? Okay, brother, you're going to turn your Facebook all the way down, man.
I turn it down.
Turn it off. Matter of fact, just listen to us. You're not going to miss nothing.
Listen, I ain't got.
Okay.
I always turn it down.
All right. All right. Hold on. Okay, my dear sister. Hold on. I got to bring him in there. Hold on. Hello, do I got both of you guys in? Okay, I got both of you guys. Okay, go ahead, dear sister. Go ahead.
Okay.
Now, okay. Now go ahead, my dear sister. You was talking. I had to cut you off because I had a call that came in. It's getting interesting. We gaining steam now.
It's not a problem. I understand, but it appeared to me that Joaquin Noah, he had a charity, and it seems as though he couldn't do anything right.
Okay, hold it, sister. Hold it. Turn your Facebook down because I hear echo.
Okay.
You got to always turn it down. You can just turn it off because you just listen to me. You don't have to read the comments. Just cut it off. Just stay on the phone with me. Just cut Facebook off so we won't get that feedback. Oh, that sounds so much better. Oh, that's 100% better. Now go ahead, my sister.
All right. Well, what I was saying, not that Joaquin Noah was not a good person or doing the right thing, but his mom was backing him, it appeared, and he had a charity, and it seemed that I guess he was doing too much for people, and it may have seemed that some other people didn't like that. I'm just using that as my opinion and my observation.
Okay.
And also, for example, I believe even Derrick Rose, he had helped several families in the city with their tragedies and helped them with certain things. And I guess sometimes this doesn't look good to the industry. I guess I don't know.
Okay.
And even when the guys won how many championships, and I know their what is it called? Their income increases significantly, but they put a cap on our brothers and some of our sisters in the sense, it appears to me, in my opinion.
Okay, that's you safe when you say that.
They put a cap on their salary to how much money they can and cannot make.
Okay, hold it right there. Let me hear what my brother from Oklahoma got to say about some of this Plantation Sports. Go ahead, my brother.
How y'all doing this evening?
We're doing wonderful.
Why would that be a problem if they helping the community? It's not a problem when, they still can suspend them and fine them when they on drugs or, whatever their policy is as far as to test them and it's just, man, why is that a problem if they helping the community? That's their money. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
but the senior people got the control too. They pulling the strings.
Man, that's why I say it's you want that successful life, but after in the long run, once you get older and realize, I just thank God with the position that I'm in. I don't have to deal because I don't want to have to sell out to no one. You see what I'm saying?
But let me ask you a question. Is it really selling out doing your job? Okay, give you an example. A Chicago police officer pulls someone over. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, it may be a law. He may have been told by his superiors, pull over every red car today. Now, that's nowhere in the law. That's breaking the law. But morally, that's wrong. But his superiors told him to do that. Any red car that you see today, pull it over. They got orders to pull it over and ask them for their credentials or their driving license and whatever, insurance and registration and all that. Now, on these jobs, we have mortgages, we have families, we husband and wives, and this is our livelihood. And anybody to know that's older, how hard it is to get another job or to start over a good paying job. No one really wants to take that risk of getting fired, not doing what their superiors say. So on a lot of these jobs, people are quiet and they know a lot of these jobs do people wrong. They deceive people. They lie to people. And we work on these jobs. We sit on these jobs and we get along to go along just to get the pay.
I don't.
Some people, I'm just saying, if your boss tell you to lie, it's up to you. What are you going to do? And if you don't lie, then what?
I still have to tell the truth. Because guess what happens? Later on, it can come back and bite you in the biscuit.
Yeah, it has happened. So I'm just saying, these jobs tell us to lie to the public. And I'm going to tell you.
I agree. I agree.
It tells us to lie. And think about it. Oklahoma calling again? Wow.
I think he fell off.
I guess, hold on. Hello?
I'm sorry, this internet or something's messing up. My other phone was cutting off.
All right, hold on. All right. I'll bring you back in. I brought him back in. Okay, so hold on, sister. Hold on. Now,
I'm sorry.
Somebody, Tracy D. White said in the comments, they control 99% of America and the wealth. And that's what she said. What do y'all think about that? Is that the truth?
Yeah, probably. It's a big end. You see what I'm saying? But a regular, just a regular 9 to 5, or it can't be one.
Brother, put your mouth on the phone. You fading away. Y'all got.
What they tell me once I get my check, they can't tell me how to spend my money. I'm not in a big corporation either, so
Right.
I don't know how that would roll. That's Hollywood too. I heard it's a lot of stuff going on.
One
I don't
thing.
know how to.
One thing I can say about Kanye West, he was definitely and probably still is in the 1%. So he did tell us a lot of things that we didn't know. Man, we may call him crazy or slow, or you got millions, just keep your mouth closed and get your money and all that. But it's good that he spoke out on some things. And for everyday common people such as myself and my guests, I'm assuming that none of you guys are not famous and not like that, but I'm assuming that you're not 1%ers. I don't know. But he told us a lot of things, how the industry works.
Mm-hmm.
How it really works. So my point with Kanye, I thank him for that. But I've heard black people say, well, man, can he just be quiet and get the niggas and go on? I mean, it's got to be a point of time where you say, hey, man, I got to help my people. I got to educate my people. We're locked out of everything. Everything. And why you think we celebrate so hard when the first black this and the first black that? But think about it. And you're female, a young lady, and we might be the same age. How many masculine men, dominant men that we have in these key positions, such as mayors, aldermen, governors, and all type, where are they? Men that stand up, that fight. Hold on, I got another caller.
Okay.
Hey, caller, where you calling from?
What suburbs?
Hold on. Hold on. All right, people, before I let my new caller come in, I want to finish talking real quick because it's like when I get in my groove, I always get shut down. But let me just say this. I'm going to let the new caller talk. It's a male.
All right.
We just, I don't know, it's just something about us when we get to the top. We pull a ladder up from behind us where nobody can climb up. Now, if you're sitting on a job, young ladies and men, that's paying $25 to $40, $50 an hour, a livable wage job, and you're on social media, even if you don't make it public, can you inbox some people, personal people that you think that will be capable of filling that position? Wouldn't that be the right thing to do?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be the right thing to do? You know what, brother? I don't know where you at in life, but my job got a vacancy in, and it pays $25 or $40 an hour with full benefits, paid vacation, dental, health. Would you be interested if I recommend you? But I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it right there. I want the last caller to go ahead and say something. Go ahead, last caller.
I want to respond to that real quick.
Yes, go ahead.
I won't say that won't work, but the concept of us being at the top of what? How many black people do you know are in a position to hire? So in your example, Martin, you were saying I can recommend you, but it's still the white person overseeing the hiring and firing process. And so to what? We get to the top of what? We're going to get to the top, the highest they're going to allow us. So like in the NBA, for example, a lot of black representation on the player side, but when it comes to the administration side, it's none. It's a few. It's sprinkles of them. So it's still dominated by that white power structure. So what you the top of? You only the top of what they're going to allow. And so, I think when we see us at the quote unquote top, we thinking, man, you should put us on. But we don't have that power. Like when we at the quote unquote top, we don't have that power that they have when they at the top. And so I can't blame our brother for looking like, okay, he at the top and he left us behind. Did he really leave us behind? Do we have any real say in who get hired, who get fired? And I don't know in my personal life that many Black people who are in a position to hire and fire and make those executive decisions.
Oh, well,
you know what I'm saying? Like it may look like it.
Can I say this? I want to comment on that. Now, just say a person as a mayor, that's a mayor, whether male or female. Now, when you come in, you bring in your own administration, and we all have to answer to somebody. But if you see that you have a few jobs that come with your position, you can appoint some jobs to whoever you like. Do that. That's all I'm saying. Even just, okay, give you an example. If I'm working at a steel mill, my brother, and I'm making $40 and $50 an hour, full benefits, and 2 people retire this year, 2 vacancies going to come up in the month of December this year. Why not shop around or ask around a young person, young lady, or young male? Are you interested? There's 2 openings will be coming available on my job. So I will let you know.
Right. Well, we on the same page there, Mark. Yeah. We on the same page there.
So I'm just saying, I know we're not doing hire, but I'm just saying if you know something, and sometimes we do.
Oh, definitely.
Sometimes we are in position to hire and fire. Okay, give you an example. You have some franchise that's in the Black community that's owned by white people. They're not going to come in that community and work. They're going to designate a manager, a regional manager, all that, and may look like us. That regional manager have the power to hire and fire. We know that at the end of the day, who owns the building, the business, the property? That's all I'm saying, brother. I understand what you're saying. That may be a little silly for us, but not for them. I understand what you're saying,
brother. Right. And so, right. So me and you on the same page.
Yeah, we
definitely on the same page with, if you have the ability, why not try to reach out and bring somebody with you? Let me ask you this, and I know you already know the answer. When Obama ran, they was talking about who his running mate would be. Why wouldn't he pick any Black person, regardless of how qualified the Black person was? The imagery of having 2 Black people in that position, they knew the white people weren't going for that.
Because the people,
you know what I'm saying? It's good enough that y'all done got one, but it was just like the conversation about race and all that. Like he couldn't dare pick a Black running mate. I'm just thinking about how they was talking about it at the time.
But how you know he didn't try? How you know he didn't try to do that?
He had some eligible candidates. I remember it.
He was selected. He was selected. It's not like that. He was selected, and not just that. He doesn't know the plight of the average man of color. He doesn't know what it's like to come up from the ground, from the grassroots. He don't know that. Not necessarily, no.
You always want to give back.
He was basically born with a silver spoon in his mouth, in a sense.
Right. But when you don't do that,
he don't know hurt. He don't know hunger.
But you want to help. You want to give back. That's to your community or whatever. I have done that. All the years I had jobs that we was hiring, I would let the guys in my neighborhood know, or females or whatever. But it was up to them after I told them to apply for that position. I couldn't twist their arm and make them do it, but I put the word out there. And I have
you did your part.
Several hired through me, who letting them know, even my own brother. My brother is 10 years younger than me.
I got him at the dealership with me. I had been at the dealership for years, but I got him a job there. So that's
definitely
what you want to do.
Right. No, I agree. We on the same page with that. Have you ever heard of this term? And I'm sure you all have, things being too black. Like I remember a time when they talked about the NBA being too black and how they intentionally was going out of the country to get other people to make it quote unquote diversified. But when the NBA was a predominantly white league, you never heard the term it was too white. When you see these different corporations where they 99.9% white, no one ever says they too white.
Nothing.
But
Never.
I've heard the term it being too black.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they fear this. In Oak Park, Illinois, to preserve the integrity of the neighborhood, the integrity is a euphemism to say its whiteness. To preserve its whiteness, only X amount of black families can own a house on each given block. Mm-hmm. You can't have 8 black families because it's going to become too black. It's going to damage the integrity, the whiteness of that particular block. And they want to maintain the integrity of their corporation, of their neighborhood. They want to maintain more than 50%, more than 75%. Yeah, we're going to let y'all get in, but it's only going to be to a certain threshold. These are built in within the fabric of certain documents.
Right. I'll give you another example. When the Bulls was winning and I was staying out west the last 3 years, you wasn't going in Oak Park and celebrate, man.
Of course.
You had every officer on each corner going into Oak Park. And I witnessed this. I wasn't out
all up and down Austin. You couldn't cross Austin.
You couldn't cross it.
So
wow.
I want to ask a question, Martin. Because I like how this very interactive. Now, they preach about voting, right? You're supposed to vote.
Mm-hmm.
But what if I just publicly said I voted for Trump? All of a sudden, a Trump supporter is another euphemism. You know, euphemism is a replacement term. When they say you're a Trump supporter, that means you racist, pretty much, as a white person.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say Kyrie Irving had a shirt that said, I support Trump. I bet they have a problem with that too. But yet they want you to go out and vote, right?
Right.
But they want you to vote for the popular consensus. And so it's like, I'm supposed to have a free will. I'm supposed to be able to talk how I want to talk. Yet I can't show support for somebody because the popular consensus is Trump is a racist. Overall, white people in public say we don't like him, even though they elected him. So clearly a lot of people actually like this dude. But you can't publicly support him because the consensus is he's a racist. So Kyrie Irving could have had a Trump shirt on and he be in the same hot water he is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just dog.
Not necessarily. But you know, and on the voting tip, I believe that, hey, vote for who you want to. Just do it. Just vote.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be. But that's the way it's supposed to be. Well, I ain't going to say died. I ain't going to say that. I'm not going to say people died for us to vote. We just stood. They killed us because we was trying to vote. So I wouldn't say they died.
So let me ask this question. So I don't know where you work at, Miss, but would you be able to go to work with a Trump shirt on?
In certain instances, no.
Why not?
So why lie? So why would you be?
Well, for example, I've been a commissioned judge of elections, and so they do tell us what we can and cannot wear.
Wow.
Now, and yes.
But we talk about.
How did I know that?
Yeah.
Now.
I'm just saying. So no, you cannot wear those things. You cannot wear certain things that would incite others. And so no, on election day, I can't go in there talking about I'm working on the polls and working and helping other people to vote, and I have a big old red MAGA hat on and all that other stuff. No, they probably would send my butt back home.
Well, let's say you at the top. Let's say you at the top. You at the building where you can sit back and reach back and bring your people back. Yet they tell you that you can wear.
I'd have to wear a suit and tie or something like that because as dealing with the Board of Elections and what have you, you can't outwardly say that you promote or support that person.
Well, let me ask you a question. So since we on that, now I've been voting since I've been 18, and when I come into a polling place, they have Democrats and Republicans there.
Correct.
And
yeah,
they have that there at these polling places. So you can almost distinguish who's who. Definitely, they have that there.
There are a few Republicans who are melanoinated.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And you don't really know, I guess, until you give them their ballot. They have to fill out an application for a ballot.
No, I'm talking about the ones that's working the board, that working the polls that day.
Oh yeah.
You'll know who's a Democrat and Republican when you go in these polling places. I see it. I've been voting since I've been 18.
In some cases.
Oh, in most cases.
In some cases more than others, yes.
In most cases.
You know what? Because listen, what I'm saying is because I'm going to say in certain areas of Chicago or certain neighborhoods, it will be heavily flooded in the blue region.
Of course. I know that. Well,
so as a judge of elections, they say that you wear the badge that represent what you want to represent, in a sense.
Well, shouldn't there be a balance in the polling place anyway? It shouldn't be all blue.
They do have a balance.
All right.
They do have a balance.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
They do have a balance. So that's why it's good to have another designation instead of one that's the popular designation in certain areas, because then that way you can help other people and that can cut down, like you just said, the bias and it instills some type of balance.
Wow.
Well, can I ask a quick question?
Mm-hmm.
Just to get back to the Kyrie thing and potentially boycotting the NBA, because I think all of this is related.
Mm-hmm.
Have we ever thought about asking prisoners to boycott the work that they're doing, technically slave labor? Like, if we want to start boycotting, like, we represent a huge portion of the workforce that's incarcerated, and they're making money. The incarcerations, and this is on the New York Stock Exchange. People are profited off materials and things that are produced and made from the jail system.
That's true, in more ways than one. That's
so
very true.
If we thinking about boycotting stuff, not only the NBA, but some of these other things that just exploit us and things like that, I think we should really start to think big picture and see, because you run the league, but we are the workforce. You wouldn't have no league. You wouldn't have no appeal. You wouldn't have nothing if it wasn't for us entertaining you musically, sports, all these other arts. We bring the flavor to everything. America would be dull, stale. It would not have no color.
And so Lowry. We the Lowrys. We bring Lowrys to the party.
Right. You go on there, like, look, they say they having a barbecue, you don't smell nothing.
Yes.
When y'all gonna start the grill? Y'all ain't barbecue. No, we already barbecue. You don't smell nothing.
Exactly.
Okay, guys, hold on. Listen up. I need to step away for about 2 minutes, but you guys gonna continue to talk, okay? So if I get cited on it, I'm still here.
So with the incarceration, with them working in the jail system, prison system, but when they get out, they can't even get a job.
No way. Let me tell you, that's not true. That's not true. I'm going to tell you that now. Because some of them make more money. Some of them make more money than other people.
When they get out?
Yes, yes, especially if they go through certain programs. Because
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm speaking from what I know as a former CO,
Mm-hmm.
and I have seen it where the guys they get to leave the premises to go work and return at an X amount of time, and then at a certain point they also have what is it called, like the weekend pass or privileges.
Furlough.
Yes, they get to go out for the weekend with their family, and then they come back within, what is that? Sometimes they get a 24-hour or 48-hour pass. But they do work. And some of them, they're the ones working and putting the pizzas together at the frozen pizza plant and what have you.
But I'm saying once they totally get out, they still have to go through, they may be a halfway out. They still might continue that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But you know what? One thing I want to say real quick is the reality of it is, if you've been incarcerated, if you got some felonies or even some misdemeanors in your record, it's going to be hard to even explain, okay, what were you doing for the last 2-3 years? If you were incarcerated and you trying to produce a resume, how can you explain these gaps of employment? So that's just going to be hard by itself. Even if you wasn't incarcerated, what have you been doing with your time? So what people don't preach to a lot of these young men and women who have these criminal backgrounds is you can start your own. So yeah, it's going to be hard for you to try to get on to somebody else's job, but what type of ideas do you have? What type of creativity do you have? Do you have any skills? Maybe we can teach you some hard skills, some soft skills, and try to be an entrepreneur, because can't nobody tell you nothing. You can have 10 felonies and start your own business. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of that doesn't get pushed to them. They just get in the cycle of trying to get a job. And of course, it's discouraging because they may hop around a little temp job, but they're not going to get no real job, a good paying job where they're going to be able to take care of their family. Let's be honest. They're not giving these opportunities to people with criminal backgrounds.
Well,
it adds to the recidivism rate. They're going to be right back locked up because the money going to be coming too slow and it's too short.
Well, there are several programs now. I do agree, but at the same time, there are several programs out there to help them. That's
right. I agree with that.
I'm speaking on that. I'm speaking on my experiences and witnessing that. That's what I'm talking about. And some of them make more money than a CO.
Right. So that I think that is an outlier, though. I think those are isolated incidences in the overall general public who gets re-released. I mean, we see the recidivism rate, so we already know a lot of them is going right back in. They're not having any long-term success with employment, some legitimate employment that actually helps them shift and change their life and pivot to do something positive. It's just not happening. But because there's no rehabilitation taking place. So the chances of them actually sticking with something positive long-term is very slim.
Well, let me say this.
That's all. But I know there's programs.
But that's what I'm saying. I've as a CEO, as a former CEO, I've seen that part, and also I've had family members that have had to go through certain programs to become rehabilitated and to have stable employment. I mean, and I've noticed that over the years, heck, some of the guys that have criminal backgrounds, it's easier for them to get a job than it is for someone who does not.
Right. I see that.
As weird as it sounds. But again, now let me tell you something. Because money is involved. And so they can put that person in that program, and they can put them in that program, and they can get money.
Right. There's incentive to those companies to hire people with background. Right. That's all that is. It ain't like these people are actually, and so it's a smoke screen. It's big business to hire these people, but is it really because these people are qualified and you want them to work with you, or because you get some type of kickbacks?
Yes.
Well, how does that work with, because my he's the not the next to the younger. So he was incarcerated, but do he have to go through a program? Well, he worked at a restaurant, but I'm saying when he got out, he didn't go through no program or nothing. So do they offer them that, like his probation officer and stuff, or how does that work?
You got to be connected with like a nonprofit organization, a community organization that gets funds, and then they recruit people who they may even come to the jail. And I've done this. They come to the jail and recruit people before they get released, maybe 3 months out, 2 months out, and then they already plug them in.
Yeah, or you get, I think most of them, they have somewhere between 6 months to a year left on their bid, and they are basically recruited or plucked, picked from the organization.
Oh, okay.
Right. And what they call it is a reintegration plan. And so how do we reintegrate this person? So it sounds like they put more work in when they reintegrate into the community versus the rehabilitation. So they don't do the work on the front end half the time. All right, this person got 6 months.
They have to spend 30 days, their first 30 days at the facility, and they do get, let's just say, wraparound type of services.
Right.
For example, they have to meet with the psychologist, the social worker, the director, and things like that that run the facility. And so they have to make sure that they're getting the right counseling, the right medications that they need to help to correct their behaviors, or whatever they need, whatever medication they may need, so that they can, when they get outside, that they know how to behave and carry themselves accordingly to cut the recidivism rate.
Well, let me ask this. Where's that wraparound support? And let's say they got a 3-year bid. Where's that wraparound support on the front end?
Front end meaning what?
When they first get in, them first 2.5 years.
Okay. Get in, you talking about prison or come home? What in the program?
No, because we know 6 months out, okay, we gonna get a reintegration plan. We're gonna plug you with all these resources, have a plan for you where you gonna work. Oh, we already know that, but we know there's gonna have some wraparound support when they get released. But where's that wraparound support when they first get in?
But see, that's the thing. I couldn't really say, but one thing I can tell you is that it also depends on the person and how they carry themselves, and if they're asking for help, or if they are making exemplary moves to show that they want to do better and they want to get better when they're released, or that they want to get when they get out.
I guess a good analogy would be if you had never taught a student math, algebra, geometry, and try to rush it the last 6 months of 8th grade versus giving it to a 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th, 6th, 7th. I'm mad. They're going to crash. You can't give them a crash class or something and throw them out there. I'm glad that they had their supportive services right before they get out and after they get out. But again, we see the recidivism rate. So we knowing that a lot of these things don't stick. So all I'm saying is that needs to be along the whole, if it was a true rehabilitation model, you know what I'm saying?
Think it's a choice. It's a choice that the people make, because I'm going to tell you something. And one of the people that was in the facility where I worked, he had a job. Okay, but I don't know what, I don't want to, let's just say he committed a very terrible thing and horrified Chicago in the past recent years, in the past, what was that, a year or two, I don't know. And so I was like, wow, that was crazy. And he had a job, but he went back to whatever he was going back to. I don't know why he would do that. And, and just inflicted all of this horror and pain on other families.
Well, let me say this.
As well as himself.
Hold on. Is it really designed for them to rehabilitate criminals?
That's what I'm saying, Martin.
It's really not designed.
That's what I'm saying.
It's supposed to be a revolving door.
It is, but it's also money. It's money
of
involved.
course. But
Right, but Martin, to your point, it's more punitive. It's not rehabilitative. It's punitive.
Okay, it's more money involved to keep them locked up. That's where the money comes in.
They have to. They get their salaries and everything. Basically they have to do their banking through that organization, or take care of their finances through that organization. It appears. As to where, because they can't walk around with, books on them and things like that. But some of those guys, they do make good money.
So I got two questions for you.
Go ahead.
So if you could come up with a percentage, let's say someone who did 10 years, right? The last 6 months of their sentence, what percentage of that sentence, how can I put this? What percentage of the time will they get wraparound support the last 6 months? Would you say about 80% of the time they gonna get wraparound support right before they get released?
No, because it depends on what's going on. It depends on what they were in there for, I believe, and also.
Okay. But they're preparing for someone to come out.
10 years, if they're doing 10 years, they may need to start getting help at the halfway point.
Oh, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm. In a lot of these reintegration plans, they only focus on 6 months and out. They're not even intervening, and so they just prepare for the person to get released, but they haven't been preparing since day one. They just all of a sudden at the tail end of the bid. Now, okay, you finna get out. The world has changed. Let's help you. We're gonna plug you, but it don't stick.
Well, sometimes it's not just the last 6 months. It may be a year, and I believe they even go as far back as 18 months. So they do provide the services, but the people is let's just say it's a strict regimen, and they have to be willing to tough out. Right. It's a strict regimen because we have to check on them every so often. We have to make sure monitor them. We have to check them in and out when they come in off the street. We got to make sure they don't have certain things on them. We're not bringing back certain things into the facility. We have to, even for example, like my first 2 or 3 days. I mean, I've collected some
contraband.
You call it contraband.
Well,
and so I collected contraband.
Let me just say this.
Sometimes they try to be slick. And think that you don't know nothing. But when I get them. I do not play.
Well, let me ask you guys a question now. Do you feel that these programs work for these offenders, criminal people just being released? Do they really work, or is just something a pass-through program just to make some money that look great on paper, but in reality is no help? Do you feel like
we know the answer because we look at the recidivism rate?
It depends on the person and the choices you make.
No, that's not the question I'm asking.
We look at the recidivism rate and we know the answer.
Right. What is the answer?
Well,
no, they don't work.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Sometimes it's the choices because if you keep going back into the neighborhood or the same area where associate with the same set of people.
Well, let me just say this. Hold on, sister. Let me say this, sister. Come on now, sister. Most of these prisoners here in the state of Illinois that's being released, they go back to the same 6, 7 zip codes where they came from. What do you expect if you go right back to the same place that you was committing crimes at to happen? What do you expect?
And you've been disconnected from the world and you behind.
I mean, come on, let's be reality.
You ask this person to go and wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go listen to somebody. I don't care if the job's sweeping floors.
Right.
But that's what I was saying. I was saying that if they're released from prison and they go back to the same area and go and associate with the same people, then more than likely they will fall back into those same old habits.
How many CEOs do we have, black CEOs, that have a success story of being incarcerated, then they rose to success? Like, we don't get them black success stories like that. We don't, I don't hear none of them.
A lot of these non-for-profit programs don't work, man. They look great on paper. They may have one, maybe two success stories, if that, man. It's just,
Right.
I'm saying, man, I'm just keeping it 100, people. You know, it just don't work.
And honestly, the success is that y'all ain't go back in jail. That's the real success.
Yeah, that
It
is.
ain't the fact that you didn't actually get a job and you provide for your family. That's not even on the table. The success is that you don't go back to jail.
I worked for one. My buddy got me a job. This was during 9/11. I didn't have a job. So he knew the guy who ran the business. So I worked for them about maybe 2 or 3 months. But it was through the state that these guys were on the job, they were incarcerated. But the money that was being paid, they couldn't take care of themselves there.
Put your mouth on the phone, brother. You sound.
They would have bets on the job,
right?
That who was gonna last on the job. We would gut out homes and different things, going to suburbs, and learning different skills on this job. But it wasn't enough pay for me, so I had other jobs lined up. But the guy, he got upset with me. He was like, I said, well, it's not enough money for me. You see what I'm saying? So I was just being honest with him. But these guys were quitting left and right. So they probably was wound up back in the jail system. You see what I'm saying? So what you saying that these nonprofits, it's probably one or two successful stories. But there it wasn't, and it was like it was a double-digit paying job. But I wasn't getting paid double digits. So it was like, I know I'm not going to be here long.
So
and something that doesn't get talked about, I've worked on jobs with people who have recently been released from jail. They get treated completely different. They get treated as subordinates. They be doing all the little peon work. They don't be with the others. They separate. Like, I've seen this on job sites. I've seen it with people with disabilities and mental illness. They don't be integrated with the people doing the high productive work. They just don't. And so it's very demeaning, a lot of the work that they're able to get to. Let's be honest about that too. They don't make them feel good about themselves. They let you know you a felon. They gonna let you know that on a lot of these jobs. You have no upward mobility. You're not gonna be able to rise up in the ranks. This is where you're gonna be at. Factory work, back end work. You're not gonna mingle with none of the clients.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be back there somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. A lot of these people, they got a job, but they're not putting you out there representing their brand. Mm-hmm. It's a very shameful type of work that they have you on, and how that make you feel as you trying to redeem yourself.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I'm gonna tell you, these programs look great on paper. They look great on paper, but reality, do they really, really work? And I'm not saying get rid of the programs. I'm not saying that at all. And I always say, if you can save 1 or 2, I guess the program was worth it. I'm assuming. And you said a point, my brother, from the West Side. You said that the whole object is to keep them from going back, no matter if they get a job or not. Just don't go back.
Mm-hmm. That's the real success.
That's the real success. And we have to be honest about that. Then how much of that money, how much of that grant money really goes to who they're serving? How much of that money really goes to the type of prisoners or ex-cons or felons that they're serving?
I don't think anything goes directly to them.
No, not in the sense of talking about putting money in their pocket. In a sense, how much of that money is really invested in them?
A very small percentage,
okay.
maybe 20%, maybe 25%, maybe.
Okay.
That's too high.
And the reason why I said that is because they do have certain organizations do have educational programs where they have the inmates get their GED and things like that to help to boost their employability. So that to help them keep their employability. So they get tutored and bring their scores up. They get their GED once they pass, and they help them go further in life.
Well, let me ask you a question. This is to the panel. Why is it that you need a certain type of degree to work on a certain job, whereas if you open up your own business, you don't need no degree? Why is that?
Right.
And shouldn't it be
it's a good old boy club. It's a club.
Okay.
They gonna make you jump through all type of hoops and this and that, but if they let the nephew and them gonna be able to get on. It's not a problem for them. They ain't got no skills, nothing.
Yep.
Exactly. That's all it is, nepotism. Well, for you got to do all type of circus flips and this and that, and you got to be perfect. As a black person, you got to be perfect, pristine.
And you got to do it 100 times more than the other people because yours can never be good enough. If you're melanonated, you can never be good enough.
Right.
And to your point, the corrections officer, now a white person, two people with the same type of criminal background, white and black. That white person can do exactly what you're talking about, get out and be successful. He can rise to be CEO. We've seen this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we've seen success stories on that end. Now so that is possible, but not if you got no dark skin. It ain't gonna happen.
I agree.
So why is it our race? They go to school, they get their degrees.
Brother, you got talking to the mic, brother. Talking to the phone.
And they still don't have the job that they went to school for.
But let me ask you a question, though. Even with this, let me answer that. Are there really enough livable wage or paying wage jobs out here? To be honest.
No.
Hold on. Hold that thought. Ma'am, hold that thought. Live, uncut, unedited.
Yeah.
You want to talk? Okay, hold on. Let me bring you in. Okay, ma'am, hold on. We have another caller. I'm going to hold my thought, and I'm going to let this caller come in and let's see what he has to say. Come on, caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was listening to the discussion about prisoners. Well, they get out of prison. They give them a job. And I don't know. I guess everything's supposed to be okay after that. But I was listening to the one brother, and he was saying the difference between a white person with a felony and a black person with a felony. I know that for a fact that that's true because I had a white friend years ago. I don't know what they did with a bank, but it was serious. They had worked at a bank, and whatever it was real serious. They had to pay all this money back. They didn't go to prison, but they did have a felony. They ended up being, I think under the CEO of a company. Okay, on my job years ago, we had a black female. She came in, she was real intelligent. I don't think she had been to prison, but she had a felony. She came in doing the job. She was doing very well. And one day, just looked up and she was gone. It was like a month or so. I asked where she was. And people on the top said, well, she had a felony. And so, they fired her. So there is a big difference. And they can go get a good job, a job better than those on the panel and me. But we can't do that with a felony. I mean, also too, it makes me wonder. Once I've seen that, it makes me wonder: is there something in the contract or something that says you can waive? Because I remember back when they used to check your credit, to get a certain job. That was a way of weeding us out. But they used to say, oh, well, we can, a black girl told me one time, she said, well, your credit is bad, but I can waive it for you because they like that person. So can they waive it if you have a felony? I mean, certain companies, and are they waiving it? Is that how they're getting these good jobs? And that's how we being weeded out when we have a felony?
Well,
so that's just something I wanted to mention.
I like that. I like that. Let me just say this. When I was in the workforce, I worked for a social service agency. They hired gay, lesbian, straight, felons, all of it. They didn't advertise it, but they hired everybody. They hired everybody. So there are organizations and non-for-profits that do hire felons, but they don't advertise it. I don't know because of the scrutiny they may get or the backlash that they may get, but they do have some places. And these jobs can do whatever they want to do. Trust me. They can do whatever they want to do. They can make a felon disappear. And who's going to, it's just like when you work on some of these jobs, these professional jobs, you're told not to discuss your pay with other co-workers.
True.
You're told not to discuss your pay. Why is that? Why is that? And you're both doing the same job.
It brings dissension between the workers.
So there is some stuff in the game when it comes to us. But let me say something. The last caller that called in, I know who he is. He sent me something today, and I thought about it. And I want to, just still on the same subject. Those illegal immigrants or migrants, whatever you want to call them, they are now a protective class here in the United States of America. Well, Martin, why you say that? They're up there with the Asians. They're up there with the LGBTQ.
Yeah.
They're up there. And the Jews. They're in a protective class. You bet not say nothing against them. You bet not. And when it comes to,
okay.
Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Okay, have y'all seen, look it up. This blew my mind. Do you know that the illegals are now fighting for higher pay? Uber, they are now, Uber hires illegals. They are now, the illegals have got together, they're asking for $30 an hour.
Wow.
And see, this is right up under our nose, people.
And we need to be talking about this. We need to be talking about this in our communities. This stuff needs to spread like wildfire.
Exactly. Yeah.
This
so they
is
starting off $30 an hour.
Yes, they are now fighting. I think it's in New York. They are
Some
now
people
fighting
still
for
making
$30 an hour.
$12 an hour.
But you guys got to remember. Now think about it. If you just a little logic, I don't have the proof, and I'm just using logic. This is my opinion, but this is logic. The migrants that's coming over here, I believe that they're told to come over here. They're promised a job, a place to stay, and all that.
Housing.
So my friend, she lives in Sherwood, a suburb of Joliet. The realtor told her that she sold 5 houses to people without Social Security numbers. 5. So you can't tell me what they can and cannot do.
Wow. Exactly.
5 houses.
Exactly. And the veterans can't even get that without going through a whole bunch of red tape and bull crud.
So
That's why I say.
Hello?
That's just why I say it's not the flag, it's the people under the flag, man.
I read an article. Oh, I'm sorry.
One nation under God. It's not the flag, it's the people under the flag. Now you telling me that people can get something without a Social Security number?
Of course.
Oh, man, come on.
Listen.
That's crazy.
Go ahead, brother. The one that said he read something. Let's hear what you got to say, brother.
I read an article because she just mentioned permanent housing, and that blew my mind when I seen that, because that is correct. I read an article on Yahoo the other day, and it was talking about well, it really wasn't talking about all that they can get, but it mentioned all they can get, which is much more than than we could get. But anyway, they were showing in Humboldt Park a shelter they were talking about in Humboldt Park they have a shelter there. This is just one of them here in Chicago, and what they're doing is, since this is a sanctuary city, they go into that shelter. They stay for a while, and they get them a job and everything, but eventually they transition into, they say, permanent housing. So they constantly got them going in and going out, giving them permanent house. Okay, you here now? All right, you here for a few weeks, hey, there you go, you got permanent house.
Let me say this too, while it's on my mind. For those of us that are Democrats and those of us are Republicans, they are both a part of this. It's the Republican states that's bringing them into the blue states. So don't give me that stuff that Republicans ain't with it. They are with this. They are with it.
Yes.
Yes, they are. The game is being played on Black people. They are with this. First of all, Black people, we don't own that many business here in America. We 1/10 of 1% owners of the business here in America. So who are hiring these migrants, these illegal immigrants? Who are hiring them? It's not us. See, the game is being played on us. We're going to wake up 5 or 10 years from now and we're going to look up and we're going to be third-class citizens in this country with all the inventions. So these same companies that don't want to hire our Black people that are felons, they're hiring these people that coming from these different countries. Like my brother said,
they haven't been vetted.
They are a protective class and they are here for a reason, to serve the interests of white supremacy, American interests. That's what they have. There's not enough livable wage paying jobs out here in America. It's just not enough. Then you have these greedy companies, corporate greedy companies. They do not want to share the wealth at all, at all, at all. So I'm telling you, these migrants, they're not just coming here to hold hands with Black people and sing, "Come by here, my Lord."
Not at all.
They're here to replace.
Ain't no kumbaya.
They're here to replace.
We have no friends.
You better believe it. So,
well, Martin, I want to try to wrap this back to the Kyrie Irving thing.
Go ahead, send it back.
Because I think, well, and then we can. I mean, it's all related. It's not like it's one time. Sometimes people say you bounce around. It's all related. We all talking about Black issues and things that affect us, and we always heard this term white privilege. Things that white people are inherently born with that they did not earn, that gives them an advantage in this world we live in. With Kyrie Irving, I think it's one of the first times I've ever seen in my life where I've seen a Black person who has enough means to say, I don't want to take this shot and I'm willing to risk my career. I don't want to, like, really standing on their beliefs. And I don't know if I want to call it Black privilege, but if it ever was a Black privilege, it's that somebody who, well, this is what I'm saying. I don't know, maybe we can try to define it. I don't even think there is a such thing as Black privilege, but seeing a Black man who is in a position financially to say no to the white man and say, keep your money, I'll sit out, and stand on their beliefs in a public. And I think they had to shut him down because they didn't want Black people to rise up and see that. They want us to be threatened by these people that's coming in. It's like, this is a message. You all are going to be second-class citizens. Y'all ain't finished. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's all brain conditioning, but someone like him throws a monkey wrench in everything because he in terms of his career, he has all the success. He won an NBA championship. He done did everything in his career. This man sitting on millions of dollars, and he has the ability to say no. What other black person do you know is willing to not work and to stand on their beliefs? You can't name
let me just say this. Well, listen, hold on, let me say this. There was one, Craig Hodges was blackballed out of the NBA for his beliefs.
Exactly.
So this is nothing new.
But did he willingly sit out, or was he blackballed?
He was blackballed because of his beliefs and what he stood for.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you had Sharif Abdul-Rahim.
Just because Kyrie said no to that medical procedure, he's not. That's a wrong way to label him. See, because look how many of our melanomated and non-melanomated athletes have died in all parts of the world as a result of that medical procedure. So the thing is, that's just like even being in the military. If you tell them that you're not going to take that whatever procedure that they have going on or whatever field, then it's going to be a problem.
But once you sign once you sign up for them, you're their property.
And you know
well,
what?
That's what I'm saying. Have we seen other examples?
Yes, we have seen other
examples of black people.
Yeah, hold on, brother. Muhammad Ali as one.
Yeah, right. That was one, most definitely.
He was definitely one.
And he had to leave the country, change his name, leave the country.
Yeah, and took that stop boxing.
Right, but it's very isolated situation.
Yes.
Right. When you sign up for that,
well, you could only
instead of us praising him and getting behind him and boycotting, we calling him crazy. He got to apologize publicly just because this man got an opinion.
Right. I have an opinion too. I don't knock, and I'm not cutting you off, brother. I don't knock people who took the shot, but I didn't take the shot. You see what I'm saying? First of all, it's man-made. It just came out. So why am I put something in my body, trusting a man, what they say, that's going to work for me?
Exactly.
Well, let me just say
right.
I want to say real quick, I believe in medical science, but I didn't take the shot because I felt like it was too soon. It has not been proven.
That's what I'm saying.
That's all with me. Now, once it's been proven, maybe another 2 or 3 years, and they got the information on it, then it'd be more so safe to take it then. But until then,
excuse me.
Yes, go ahead.
You all know that they're saying that they don't want anything to come out, no Beers report to come out until around, 75 years from now or something like that? What's that, 2086 or something like that? Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes.
Oh, none of us. The people that it took going to be, the youngest person going to be in their 60s, so they ain't going to be worried about what they did to everybody in the after effect. Right. That's a very convenient time to release the data on that.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying, because when you go into and you communicate with these people, see, they're incentivized too. They're getting like 40 grand, 40 grand for each jab they give to people. So it's not, and that's just, and that's 40 grand. That's why they pushing it. And sometimes they try to put you under duress to get it.
Let me, I want to draw this conversation back to Kyrie Irving real quick. Have you guys made up in your mind that even though he made his public apology, but to me it's no longer about Kyrie Irving. It's about showing their muscle, their power. They use him as an example to show us this is what can happen to you, Niger. If you do, hold on, let me talk, sister. So are we willing to sacrifice not to watch some games? And I'm going to tell you, well, we don't need, and I'm going to say this again, 100% black people to get on board, not to watch some NBA games. And I'm going to give you an example. When I used to sit in front of a lot of places and boycott, and this is what I used to tell our team. I said, if we can get enough people not to go in there, not to go in there. And they're still going to have something to go in there, but it won't be enough to sustain their business. And that's what I'm saying. If we can get enough people just to make their ratings go down, and ratings are a great part of the NBA, they make money. It will send a message. We don't have the weapons, the machinery and the artillery to go to war with them like that. We have to beat them like the Chinese people doing them in economics.
Exactly.
They have declared war on America through the economy, through economics.
Fair, brother.
And we need to do it.
I'm just telling you. So this is what you call
Martin, real quick.
Art of war. Go ahead.
Just real quick. We could do how the white people did when Kaepernick was kneeling. Their ratings plummeted because white people wasn't trying to watch the NFL, but black men, quote unquote, disrespecting the flag. That killed their ratings, which was a problem for the NFL.
And they still recovering.
Just did it.
They're still recovering from that.
I agree.
So we can do it. But see, let me hold on. Let me say this. I'm gonna let you guys talk. What it is they will stunt and like it's not hurting them. They won't show. See, when you're in a war, you in a ring in a boxing match, and a guy hits you on your chin, you gotta bluff like that didn't hurt. And you got to keep moving. So we got to keep putting pressure on these major corporations. We got the power. We may not have the power to control the water, the military, the laws, but we have the power not to watch. They can't force us to watch NBA. They can't force us.
Correct.
There's a lot of other things that we could be watching and doing. Go ahead, guys.
Well, you know what? Colin Kaepernick, he stood for a good thing. And I feel that he was betrayed by his fellow teammates and the other members of the NFL. And I feel that when he stands up for something like that, and it does have merit, that I'm the type of person, I will back him. And I back him. And I felt that they should have went man overboard.
It's not a matter of betrayal. Everybody is on different levels. You know, you have some people during the civil rights movement, they didn't march because they know if the police or whoever hit them, they fighting back. So they had to stay at home in the office, maybe do some calling, do some paperwork or something, make some signs.
All right.
So everybody is not capable of standing on the front lines. They're not willing to do that. So you need, the world is a stage and everybody have their own role to play. So we can't expect all these NBA players to stand up and stand with Kyrie Irving out front. But trust me, behind closed doors, he have a lot of support. And we all know that he didn't do anything wrong. We all know that. They know that. But they sent a message. The next one of y'all try to speak out or say anything or share anything. We're going to show you cracking the whip.
And it upset me because Charles Barkley and them dogging the man. You see what I'm saying?
Well, brother, brother, listen. You know what word he is, and I ain't going to say it to start with a C. You know what he is. Come on now, that's nothing new, brother. He in bed with the master.
That was respectful.
The master been good to him. Because if I say that word, they're going to put me in jail. So I'm not going to say it. So y'all know the word C. That's what he is. We didn't expect nothing from him. I didn't expect no support from him.
Man, I respect all my brothers and sisters in Christ. I spread the gospel message. You can't be, if somebody have a different opinion from me, I'm still going to love them the same. We're going to have different opinions.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? But
you know what?
I'm not going to sit there and blast you all if we were just live on a TV show or you did something, Martin, and I call you an idiot and all that. I don't know, man. There's just certain things you just don't do.
Brother
man.
Oklahoma.
It don't.
Brother Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They sent a memo around for them to speak on that.
Wow.
You got to remember, they sent the memo around.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Just from you saying that. So that's another problem. Because people were saying, well, what do LeBron got to say about it? Why can I be silent? Why can I don't have an opinion on everything. Some things I want to sit back, but now they putting pressure on him. Well, look, if you're not saying something, you must be with him. So I want you to go out there and say something about it. And you can't just say anything. You have to say you against it.
Well, see, that's because of they are protecting the brand of NBA because they know what happened to the NFL 3 or 4 years ago. So they're protecting. See, once the word got out, the boycott word got out, then that's when they really got in. They really dug into them. But they still not see
but
right now.
Hold on, you want me to go say something, what you think I'm gonna say?
But hold on, brother. He's paid by the very people. He made a statement. He made a statement on Twitter, I'm getting this Jewish money. So he had to go back and apologize for saying that.
Who said that?
LeBron. He made a post.
Oh, wow.
That was like 3 or 4 years ago that he was getting his Jewish money on Twitter. He had to apologize for that. So I'm telling you, brother.
Yeah, you can't say nothing good or bad about it. You can't even say their name.
That's right. That's where they have it. But listen, I just summoned, I call them white supremacists. So, hey, that's what they are. White supremacists.
Right.
But if you put me out there, Martin, what you think I'm going to say? Like,
little boy.
Well, it depends on where you are. What you see, everybody's not going to.
As like an NBA player, what you think they're going to say? If
Michael Wilborn dog him out too.
Well, everybody that work for ESPN going to say they're going to speak against them. It's your job if you say anything against it.
Well, you know
Any support of Kyrie Irving, you're losing your job.
So they have to talk about it. They can't not say nothing.
Well, you know what, man?
You have to speak on it.
For real. Let me just tell y'all something. They don't want no Muhammad Ali's no more. They want you to shut up and play basketball. Shut up and play football.
Right.
Do not say anything about social justice. Keep your mouth.
Right.
Shut up and play basketball. Shut up and throw that ball. Shut up and run with that ball. That's what they want. You here to entertain us. You're not here to tell us about social justice and what's right, what we're doing right, and what we're not doing, what we're doing wrong. We don't want to hear that from you. We pay you big money to entertain us, to perform. And that's what they're showing.
Well, that's why they love Michael Jordan, because he say, look, Republicans buy shoes too. He knew how to play the game. Because they asked him about politics. He said, well, Republicans buy shoes too, and shut them down. And they ain't asked him nothing else about no politics. Michael didn't get involved with none of that stuff. I'm playing ball, that's that. He played ball, he gambled, and he was on, you know what I mean? He was able to play the game. He knew how to play it.
But they got after him
too. They asked him that one time.
Don't think they
look
can
how the
come
NBA has changed. All the players from overseas are in the league now. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's because it was too black.
Because we dominated the NBA. We did.
And still dominate. Yeah. But I tell you, things going to change, people. Things going to change. And we still talk about.
I guess and maybe I shouldn't have used the phrase black privilege because I don't think it exists.
No, it doesn't exist.
I haven't seen someone, like I said, with the money and the means to say, I'm not going to work on your job to stand on my beliefs. We haven't seen that often. And so you got to applaud that man. And I think because of that, now it's like, all right, the COVID thing, now you talking about this stuff that they claim is anti-Semitic. He talking crazy. He got to go.
But what, you know what?
About the NBA.
But what really would have been great.
We are the Semites.
Listen,
are the Semites. And
that's what he was saying.
Listen. But we the Shemites with the H, we're not the Semites. They made that up.
Right.
That's the difference between the Semites and the Shemites. That's the difference. They removed the letter. But let me just say this, people. He would have even been even greater if he stood on the truth. Say, hey, listen, I did not write that movie, that documentary. Now, he could have been honestly said, I don't agree with everything he said, but there is some truth in there. You can't tell a man what he can't share on his platform. That's his platform.
Yeah.
Right. And Martin, what if he would have shared something from that Jeffrey Dahmer documentary?
You think
so? Everybody was praising that. But they
Right, that's what I'm saying. Right.
They not thinking about the families that lost loved ones through that.
Right.
Man.
So had he done it to the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary, I don't think nobody said anything.
Right, but
That's why I said he would have been just fine.
Right, they praised in that, but I don't think it was nothing to be praised about because these family members are probably still hurting from that. Man.
Yeah.
You see,
And let me
y'all
just
show this on Netflix or wherever they showed it on. It's just like, man, ridiculous.
Let me say this. I don't know where his I know the basketball players have a union. His union should have fought for him too as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's nothing in this clause talking about how you gonna label that man something. The man never said nothing against nobody religion or no other people.
They said the NBA PA did not say anything about Kyrie. They just said that they're against anti-Semitism, but they did not mention his name. So I will give them credit for that. They ain't say his name in their statement. They just say we against it.
But they didn't do anything. But he didn't do anything wrong. But the thing is that, like I said, they are fragile and fragile, weak little boys, and they had to do the PP contest.
Yeah,
you know, to let them know that they got the bigger one, or at least they hold the most leverage. And that's how it is.
Well, let me just say this.
White supremacy cannot stay in place.
It can't stay. It has to fall. It has to fall.
Yeah.
It all
they
kingdoms.
Came out because they have to.
It has to
if
fall.
They're going to keep white supremacy in its place.
Say
if
it, brother.
we sat there, if LeBron and a lot of other players just sat and didn't play the next 10 games, they would have to listen. They would have to sit down and have a conversation. Mm-hmm. These players not ready to disrupt the structure right now, but if they did, they got the power right now to say we all sitting down till we have a sit down talk about we ain't playing no more games.
Hold on.
We ain't playing no games no more.
I'm gonna go a little further than that. You could just take all the superstars, just sit out. Mm-hmm. That'll do it right there. They don't need the whole league to sit out. The main players, the Kyrie Irvings, the LeBron James, the Chris Paul, Kevin, we said Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? Stephen Curry, Giannis, Curry, all the main people that draw the money. All the main people. And it's nothing. I think it's a league of 400 some players or something like that. You know, if they had 20% of the all-star players just set out, it's gonna hurt it. It's gonna hurt.
You know what? But they're gonna be able to continue those games. So we need at least 70% of the team.
Who they come to see? They come to see the Giannis's.
Oh, right.
They come to see the KDs, the LeBron James, the Kyrie Irving, the Stephen Curry.
Right.
You know, these superstars.
So the stars go out.
That's
right.
It's a done
deal. But they still gonna be able to play the game.
Of
though. They're gonna get replacement.
But it ain't gonna
be
the same.
Down the whole.
Listen, when they playing.
True.
Listen, brother. When they playing, when people buy use a season ticket holder, you want to go see the star player.
Exactly.
That's the star player. That's what it's all about.
Because remember when a few years ago,
about basketball, the league is hog-washed down anyway because you look at the injury reports, man. Now, these season ticket holders pay their money to watch Stephen Curry or LeBron James, and you might get there, and they not playing that night. No injury or nothing, but they're on the injury report. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing because they tried to scrutinize the Spurs when they first started doing that. Keep dunking down.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So why these people pay their money to go see these stars, but then they'll sit out. Sit out a couple.
Man, they playing.
Jordan and them never sat out.
Yeah,
man.
But brother, they playing too many games, man.
Washed up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're playing too many games, man. 80-something games. That's just greed, man. That's too much wear and tear on these bodies, man. We living in a different time and era, man. Listen, brother, these bodies are wear and tear, man. You got a lot of NBA stars, all-stars, that's in their 30s, man, right now. That's a lot of wear and tear on these bodies, man. 80-something games, man. That's a lot of games, brother.
It's got to be a different structure in the food now, because if them guys wasn't injured, the Isaiah Thomases and them, they played 82 games. Larry,
yeah, they all did.
They played.
Yeah.
You understand? Robert Parrish can barely walk. 82 games and then plus playoffs.
But that's on them, brother. But a lot of them players, hey, listen, a lot of them players wasn't playing 15 years and 14 years. I think the average span of an NBA player is 7 years. 7. I think so. I might be wrong, though. I might be wrong. Man, it's it's longevity, brother. You know, because guess what? Once you all beat up and up, they're going to go get them another one. You gone. You washed up. Why? Listen. These NBA players, you're dealing with a different breed of NBA players. And those, I call them NBA players back in the day, they was football players because they was hitting you, knocking upside your head, blacking your eye, knocking your tooth out. Right now, if you barely touch somebody, they call them a foul. You know, so I understand.
There wasn't no AU either. They starting off AU basketball now. You see what I'm saying? They starting them off young. So they playing all games when they're young.
Well, Martin, that's why I say, like, and I get your point. I 100% do. But we watch the games now and barely have the stars playing anyway. So if they don't even have nothing to cover, I think that'll really hurt them because they spend all this money and there's no players on the court at all. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to not have those stars, but on a typical game, you don't have your stars playing because they all sitting out because they get scratched or whatever. So we used to that.
Yeah. I mean, look.
But if they really just forfeited their games and like, look, we just not playing, period. Man. They're not going to have nothing to cover.
Nothing, not from the NBA. And they can't, listen, they can't stand that hit, brother. Listen, imagine the NBA players go on a 30-day boycott. Man, don't you know what devastation that would bring on the league and the ratings on TV? I mean, that would 30 days straight. Listen, I'm going to tell you this. A lot of us that's in the working field, we're a couple of paychecks away from being homeless.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine, I would say a business is 30 days straight of being going out of business.
Away from injury.
No, I'm talking about the corporation business. If they get hit for 30 days straight and they peak season, oh my God, it's a problem.
But that goes back to my point. How many Kyries do you actually have? How many people gonna stand on it is willing to not play, to stand on their belief?
Well, Kyrie's not willing to. He want to play. So how they gonna do something that he's not willing to do? So think about it.
Okay. So, yeah.
So think about it. He's trying to get back on the court. So why would they boycott something that he's not boycotted? Come on, man. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, man. Yeah. Think about it.
So how are we gonna accomplish this then?
By not watching.
Well, I guess we could just stop out. Right. We can. Right.
For ratings, we can hurt them. Hit them in the pocket.
Right.
Listen, if they're used to making $300 million a night on a game, and we don't watch it, and 200 of that million come from TV ratings and all that, and we don't watch it, it's down. That's how they get paid. It's revenue in TV. We may not know all the ins and outs, but it's definitely paying it. Trust me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you paying one man $140 million for 5 years, imagine what they're making. Imagine, man. You paying one man $140 million. Look at the Golden State Warriors. They almost paying $500 million in luxury tax. In luxury tax, people. My goodness. I'm going to give y'all, we got 7 minutes. Let y'all say some closing remarks out there, whatever you want to say. And I'm out of here. So, you know, you guys, each one of you guys can say.
I wanted to say about Kyrie.
Go ahead.
Okay. Although, in my opinion, he folded.
Yes, I agree.
Number one, it's not about Kyrie, but at the same time, what if we look at it like this? Kyrie opened the door. Because what? 3-4 weeks ago or whatever, as far as the NBA, most of us knew it. and who controlled it and how they were treated, and this, that, and the other. But what if we, because they can't do it all by themselves anyway. They're really not doing anything anyway, because I can remember, I think it was Malcolm X talked about black celebrities. You're not going to get anything out of them. I think he said most of them are that C word. He might have said uncle, whatever, but long story short, Kyrie opened the door. It's up to us, because we can't just sit back and say, well, he didn't do what he was supposed to, so we lost that one, because as Martin mentioned, we got the power. It's just up to us to get up off our butts and do it. And it's not going to be everybody. It's not going to be most. But if it's enough of us, we can win.
We can win.
That's all I got to say.
I agree.
I agree with that. Go ahead, my sister.
Yes, sir.
Whoever next, go ahead.
I'll say one thing real quickly. At least Kyrie is doing what a lot of people would not even attempt to do. So even though he doubled back on his word, is more than anyone else is currently doing in any sport other than Colin Kaepernick. And so it's hard to be a black man in this world. And you got the camera in your face, you're making millions of dollars, and you trying to stand on what you believe in, try to stay black. And, so I feel for him. I don't know what he's going through. I never touched the money he making. I never been in them type of situations, but I know how it feels to stand on my beliefs and have to have my job be threatened because of that. And I just want to pray for the brother. That's all I want to say.
Okay, I sort of agree with you, brother. I'm like this. And when the guys used to work for me on my truck, we clean out houses and stuff like that. And the guy always walk up to me, I'm doing a good job. And I look at him, brother, finish the job. Then you ask me, how did you do? Don't listen. I need you to finish this job. You can start it. You're not graded on the start. You're graded on the finish, the end game. Now, if those of us that's come from the Christianity world, the scripture said the race is not given to the, hold on, sister, I'm talking. It's not given to the swift or the strongest, but it's given to the one that endured to the end. You got to stay the test. Thank you for the start, but you got to stay the course. You got to finish. You got to finish in this game. You got to finish.
Maybe he needs some guidance.
Yeah, maybe. I'm just saying, I'm not making no excuse for him. Thank God for him, but he didn't finish. He backpedaled. He didn't finish.
Yeah,
he didn't finish, man. You sent confusion out in the land. You did. You sent confusion for the next man to step in. If the next man want to step up, if he did want to step with you, you let him down. That's what happened. He did. That's my opinion.
Can I add to that?
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
We keep saying, well, 140 million and blah, blah, blah. I've been in situations like that, and I'll never see the money I never see the money he made. But ain't it a little bit worse for some of us like that? But I still don't mind. What I mean by that is, when it's in your heart, you're going to do it. When it's in your heart. Just because you read a few books, you watch some documentaries, you get all fired up. But then, have y'all ever seen somebody firing them up to fight, and then when they get there, the person, well, man, I don't know. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's in his head. I don't know him, but you didn't finish the job and you jumped out there. And I don't know, I guess you got weak, but when you got out there, you knew what was going to happen. So you didn't finish. That's all I go. But when it's in your heart, you're going to do whatever you need to do. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Next. It's quiet. You can hear a pen dropping here. Look. Tell the truth and shame the devil.
Statement. That's all I got to say. The beautiful statement. I enjoyed the platform tonight.
Thank you, my brother. Sister, close us out.
Well, I just hope that we as a people, I know it's wishful thinking, but hoping, hey, we need to stand for something. We need to have some unity. We need to have some solidarity, and not stab each other up in the back. But I'm hoping that when it comes to these professional entities, that we can have some backbone and speak up for ourselves. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Because those contracts are very restrictive, and you got to have a lawyer with you.
You got a lawyer. You got to have a lawyer that's working for you, not for them.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You have to have your lawyer, your own lawyer. Yes.
That have your interests.
Yes, that has your best interest at heart. Because those clauses, like I said, they can really mess you up.
Yes.
They can really mess you up. And if, and, or but, or this, or that, or these, that, those, they can mess you up in a contract, and they take on a totally different meaning. And I know our brothers and sisters, they get out there and they want to make their money.
Yeah.
But gotta read it.
All right. I'm gonna close out, people. This is my last word. Martin Luther King said in his own words, if a man isn't willing to die for something, he isn't fit to live. And that's it. You got to die for something. All right. I always say we out here dying for dice games and the color blue, this star, that star, gambling, domestic violence. We dying for a lot of foolishness. Why can't we just stand on a principle, a true and righteous principle for what we believe in? That's right. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Good night, guys. I love being black. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited.